Yo, what's good, people? It's Cactus, and we're back again with episode 10 of Cactus Convos now. Today, I've got another real special guest with me. It's someone that's been definitely killing it over the past year. He's managed to grow his YouTube channel to over 15k subscribers just with beats. He's also landed some huge placements with people like Pooh, Shiesty, Bando K, and Jordan McCann. Many more that I'm sure we're going to get into. He goes by Jester. Jester, what's good, bro?
Yo, thanks, Jay, for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day. It seems like you've been real busy recently.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, it's been crazy at the moment. But yeah, I'm in college at the moment. I've got these online lessons, but apart from that, I'm not really doing a lot. So yeah. I'm in my last year of A levels. So yeah, I've turned 18 like a few weeks ago. So yeah.
You're young then, man. Man, you've got so much ahead of you. It's kind of crazy to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's only producing's only started to kick off really in the past like 2-3 months. So yeah, it's sort of it was never really like in my forefront of mind as like something I want to do when I'm older. It was always sort of a dream.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming more and more real with each passing day. Definitely, yeah.
That's sick, man. So looking on your YouTube channel, I think the first upload was around about 9 months ago. I could be wrong, but it was definitely less than a year. So
yeah, so I have pirated some videos because some of the production standard was not up to quality. I think my first upload was, I think it was about maybe a year and a half ago. It was a Lil Tecca type beat, and it was like 1 minute 30 seconds long. And I made it on FL Mobile. It was an FL Mobile. I started on FL Mobile. So
is that when you first started then, a year and a half ago, and then you just uploaded your first beat straight away?
See, when I started was I started off DJing like originally, not producing. So I had these decks. I got them there. They're like I had my iPad. I didn't have a computer at the time, so I had an iPad that was linked to them. And I used to DJ. I was like 14 maybe. I think I was like 14. I used to do like parties and stuff, like with my mates. But then I got FL Mobile on my iPad. That's what I was doing it on.
Yeah.
I did that for like 9 months. I was on FL Mobile, which seems like a long time. But I'll be in lessons. I'll be in like my history class and my GCSEs, and I'd just be like making trap beats and stuff. And like my mates would freestyle over them in class and stuff. And they were so bad. Like I listened to them like a month ago, and they were so the 808s weren't in key. Like it was all.
But I bet at the time you thought they were sick though. I bet at the time you were gassed.
These were the hardest beats ever. I tell you now. Like I was metro booming. I was metro booming in my head. I was yeah.
Bro, it's always the case when you make your first beat. It's just like you get so gassed. It's like, right, I made this. You want to show everyone. You're trying to DM everyone. No one wants to listen either. You're like, yo,
bro. I didn't have a producer account, so I had like my main Instagram account, and I had like 1,400 followers, something like whatever. And I used to put them on my stories, like new beats, and people were like, "What is this guy trying to do?" I used to get the piss taken out of me all the time from my mates, like, "Oh, Jester Beats." I used to, because I was like doing like remixes, and people were like, "Why are you doing that for?" Like, it's so weird. Like, I didn't really get a lot of support from my mates early on, put it that way. But,
you never do in the beginning though. Until people actually see some traction and they see you getting somewhere, then they start believing in you, which is a shame, really.
That's like everything. That's like everything. Especially in the scene as well, producers as well. Like people don't really take you in properly until you start to get placements and stuff.
Yeah, of course. It's one of them things as well where if you people won't take you seriously until you take yourself seriously. So, for example, if you were just like doing your normal stuff, but every now and again you were posting a beat, people would be like, "This is kind of weird to see from you." But if you're all in with it and like all your posts are beats, like the pictures of you are in a studio, you know what I mean? Like you're presenting yourself like a producer and you're just showing that you're all in. That's when people start to take you a bit more serious because you're taking yourself serious, if you get me.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, for me, I'd been dabbling with. I got FL Studio after my GCSEs. My dad got me a laptop, a Mac, and I was so gassed. I was like, "Oh yes, right, I can start." Because in my mind, you always make excuses as a producer. I feel like everyone does this. Like, oh, it's the next VST, it's the next drum kit I need to get, then I'll be good. And that was it. I needed a Mac. I was like, not Windows, no, because I saw Martin Garrix in a Windows and Mac, and I wanted a Mac. I was like, yeah, I want a Mac. Because it was Martin Garrix that made me start producing, which is kind of a bit of a twist. But
oh, is it?
Yeah, because he was the one, he said FL Studio, and I was like, I want to make house music. I didn't want to make drill stuff that first.
Yeah.
So I had it. I tried to make a house, and put it this way, it was a lot harder than I thought. So I just couldn't do it. So I started making trap beats on FL, and I got that maybe year and a half ago. FL on my computer like 2 years ago. Like that was end of year 11. Like, so I was 16.
Yeah.
And I'm 18 now. So about 2 years ago. Yeah. So I had FL then, and I was making trap beats. I was dabbling like in and out. Like, I wasn't that good at all, to be honest. I was posting them on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I started posting on YouTube. That was like November of 2019, I want to say. That was my first post. I think it was, November 2019. And that was like a Lil Skies type beat. And it was terrible. Like, I even knew the mix was bad when I uploaded it. It was like too late. I already got 10 views. I didn't want to delete it. Like, I thought 10 views. I was like, yes,
that's
10 views. And
that's 10 people that have found you, though.
That's
Still
10 people. Yeah, no, it wasn't though, because that was me checking back to see if the view count go up. So probably half of that was me.
Yeah.
So that was that. I sort of posted a beat when I felt like it. Didn't take it seriously, and then in summer of that Christmas of that year, 2019, December, and after that, like, lockdown happened, and then lockdown was really like the push for me, because I had all this time, and I was like, what do I do with it? And I like music, and I've always liked music. I've always loved making music. I've always been very musical.
Yeah.
So I just, Did
you play any instruments before?
See, I've always been very musical. I had like music like classes and like when I was younger, not like lessons, like music. And I was always like making music. I had like garage bands since I was like 6, and I was just, But I play a little bit of piano. Like I did like at school, I had like my teacher in the class who'd like show me how to play like chords and stuff, but I wasn't any grades or anything. I tried to learn guitar, but to be honest, I didn't have the patience for it. It was all a bit fiddly with my fingers. I was only like 9 though.
Yeah. Learning any instrument is just like, I can't play anything. I can play like a bit of piano from doing piano lessons, but learning any instrument, man, it's hard. It's like learning a new language or something. Like it does get tricky. You have to have patience for it as well, because at the start, it's like anything. Like when you start making beats, you might be shit at making beats, but it's one of the things you just got to keep practicing at.
100%. I want to learn guitar though. That's something I want to learn, but I don't have the time right now. I want to make the time to do it. When I've stopped with college, I want to learn guitar. I've said that. I want to learn to play guitar properly, because that will help with just everything.
What's your schedule like right now then? Like on a day-to-day basis, is it college every day? Like, do you have a set schedule, or is it just like whenever you've got some time, you'll cook up?
See, like I've got college in the week. It's like normal lessons for me, like remote learning. And that's long. I'm not gonna lie. I've sort of fallen out of love with college. I used to get decent grades. I got good GCSEs and stuff. I do like maths and stuff at A level, and it's hard work, man. Like it's so long. But yeah, in the day, like I do my lessons. I watch TV, or I'm replying to DMs or something. You know, I'm not really in the lesson that much. Like I'm always doing something else. Yeah, it's definitely half-hearted. But in the day, like not really anything. It kind of gets to like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, right, I've got to post on YouTube, or I'm feeling creative, or I've been sent a sick loop, or whatever. Like I just feel that creative space, and I'll sit from like 6 o'clock till like 11 o'clock, and I'm just like, my phone goes away, and I'll just make beats. Like that's sort of my time, and then I'll have dinner maybe after that, and then if I'm feeling like it, like 1 in the morning, I'll like cook from like 1 till 4, and then I'll go to sleep and wake up at 8:30 and want to die because I haven't slept. But that's just it really does depend. The life of a
producer, isn't it? All over the place.
Literally, I could not cook all day, but then the next day I'd spend like all night doing it. So it's just like there's no balance or schedule at all. It's like I could not cook for 2 days, but then like the next 2 days I'd make like 6 beats. Like it just happens that way. I mean, every producer makes like different work rate, has different like amount of beats they make. Like I think 2 beats a day for me is really good. Like 2 beats for me, I'm like, that's been a really productive day.
2 beats is more than enough, really, especially if you're only uploading to YouTube 1 a day. Then that's more than enough.
Like I try and upload every other day on YouTube, because I feel like for YouTube algorithm, like posting every day, like I think it sort of sucks out the views, because like I'm not going to bore people with that, but that's sort of.
Let's go into it, man. That's what we're here for, like the YouTube gems, everything. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think I've got a few YouTube gems, definitely, because my YouTube sort of taken off recently, to my surprise as well, believe me. So with YouTube like posting every day, I would definitely recommend it like when you're starting, before like when you're reaching a K subscribers. I'd say, because you haven't really got an audience locked in like before 1K. So I feel like at that point you're just trying to get like search term views to your channel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
any view that people are going to see is better than uploading every other day. Like every day uploading consistency, people see that and they're like, yeah, this guy's good. He's putting in work, and they want to support you. So like I'd recommend that. But like once you've like sort of got an audience like that are tuned into you and you're getting good views, then I'd say upload every other day, because like it takes 24 hours for like, all the subs in your like view box to like view the video and stuff, which you already know, because so yeah. And also like work rate as well, like uploading every day for a lot of people, that's killer. Like that it killed me. I did that every day for like 2 months. So it was every day, give or take, like not every day, but for the most part it was pretty much like daily.
I suppose when you're uploading every other day, like if you're uploading every day, people might like, there's like too much content for someone in a way. Whereas if you're giving someone something like every other day, at least they've got time to actually watch the last video before the next one goes up. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there's something to do with that as well. What? Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, exactly. No, I was just, I feel like when you're uploading every day, but even you creatively, like your beats kind of just get quite samey. And I feel like for me, breaks are massively important, because I go for ups and downs. I think like every producer of like beat block or whatever. So I could have 3 days and I make like my best beats. I'm like, every upload gives good views. I'm like, feel great. Next upload, this shit. Like it gets like, it's, you know, on the YouTube thing, it's like 9 out of 10. Like that thing where it says how it's performing compared to other videos, and you're like, oh, watch time's down, views are down, people aren't liking this beat, and you just get like demoralized every time it happens. They're like, oh, it's so like it's crap.
You can go from feeling on top of the world to just feeling like
literally
shit,
it's so up and down, like, because so YouTube, although it seems to me like it's sort of been straight upwards, it's not. It goes like down, then up, and then like there's those little dips along the way up. And those little dips is definitely like, they might seem to other people like nothing, but they're definitely big knocks to your confidence, and as a producer as well, because you think that beat wasn't really that good, and like and like the hi-hat patterns all sound the same, and you're just like because drill has that sort of, can be, I feel, quite repetitive when you make loads of beats at one time. That's why I think definitely breaks are important, so you can like get creative with it and stuff.
100%, I agree. It's the same when I'm doing like my tutorials as well. Like I'll upload one, and then the next one that goes up, if that's not performing as well, I'm like, shit, I've wasted that time. Like I shouldn't have uploaded this. You start hating yourself for it. But you put a lot of pressure on yourself as well, because every upload you feel like it has to beat the last one, and you feel like when you've seen like certain videos get a certain amount of views, you think that every video is going to get that, but it's not always the case, man. I think we just have to realize that once we put it out there, it's for the people to decide. And maybe if people aren't feeling this one, then it's just like a learning curve, and maybe it's something that you did in that particular beat or video that maybe you don't need to do in the next ones. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a learning curve when you're uploading so many.
No, 100%. Yeah, I feel like with my beats, like when I was on my massive growth stage, like 2.5 months ago, every beat I was making, I was thinking, this is my best beat yet. And that's the best feeling for a producer. Like you'd upload it, and I put it on my story. I always used to put this on my story. My best beat yet. I still do it now sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But on my story, I'm like, best beat yet, check it out. And people were like, oh, best beat yet. And like, I don't know, like I sort of got at the time, like, even though I only had like a few subs, people were starting to clock on like how many views I was getting for my subs. It was pretty consistent. It was like, I don't know, like 500 views after like 6 days. People like were trying to do YouTube at the time. Were like, that's actually quite good for your subs, like get that consistently.
Definitely.
And like I was literally sending my links out to everyone, like tune into this. Like I would support everyone's videos. Like I was always commenting on people's videos, like this is good. I always give my opinions and stuff.
This and like, I used to get Instagram or YouTube, you'd comment?
On Instagram, and YouTube, to be fair. I'd say to people, any link you want to send me, I'll check that out. I'll give you my feedback and stuff. Like we're here to support each other, you know?
Of course, man.
And I feel like that worked in my stead, because the YouTube algorithm works. Like if you get a lot of traffic there in the first hour or like early on, obviously you're going to rank for search terms earlier on. And that means you're going to expand your audience. Because let's say you're ranking for a search term in the first hour, you're going to find a new audience is coming to your beats that will never even be there without like that big load of traffic coming to you early. So I used to get like 30 comments in the first hour when I was like on like 500 or 600 subscribers, and that's like, that was crazy. People were like, how are you getting so many comments? Because I literally be sending my links out to people individually, like custom messages, like, yo, so and so beats, like, what do you think of this beat? What do you think of like the hi-hat pattern, for example? Like something they have to listen to, you know, like they have to listen to it. And then like after a while, I think people just started to be like, yeah, like the beats are actually all right. Like, yeah.
Were you
And
sending these messages to other producers or rappers or just anyone that you could?
Mainly producers, to be
Right.
honest, because I didn't really have a network of artists like that. But then, yeah, like sort of over time, I did start to get that network, and artists would sort of, I'd get like reoccurring like sales from artists who like me, like smaller artists, not big artists, and and I'd send them the link sometimes, like, yeah, I hear you on this beat, for instance, like, what do you think? They're like, yeah, definitely, I'm a right to this, and yeah, that as well. But
yeah, that's smart, man. It's kind of mad you saying that you used to like message loads of producers, because a lot of people listening might think that that's spammy, you know, because people get so many messages from producers every day saying, yo, check out my beat, check out this, you know what I'm saying? And they're just asking for something. So most of the time I've always thought that it's kind of spammy, but in a way, like, you've obviously proven that it's self-promo, because you're getting them views and comments early, and then the videos start taking off. So it's kind of crazy to think about. So
yeah, I mean, it's the way you go about self-promo. I feel like if people like you, they're happy to do it. And I try and be like real as possible with like people, like producer friends and stuff. Like, I'd always like, you know, drop comments. I'd always give opinions, and like I'd always run up their videos as well. Like, I'd have like group chats and stuff that I'm in. They're mainly just for like talking, but they sort of become like promo groups. Well, promo wasn't like just a link and like and comment. I'd always be like different thing to each people. So and I'd ask them specifically like them. Like, I know like one producer, he'd like always like criticize my mix, and every time he'd be like, yeah, what do you think about our mix for this beat and stuff? And he'd always go and check it out. And that was always an extra comment, an extra like. And like, even if that's like 2 or 3 people, that will always, you know, it helps definitely.
Yeah, definitely. That, I think the key that you said there though is like to lead with value as well, because you weren't just asking people for things, you were actually doing it for them as well. So you were commenting on their videos. So if you weren't doing that and you were just asking everyone in the DMs to check out your video, then people might just be like, fuck off, man, like, this guy just keeps sending me links. But, because you've like taken the time to actually go on their videos and give them feedback and like the video and comment on them, then they're going to be like, well, he's done it for me, then I'm going to show love back. So I think that stops it becoming spammy, because you're kind of doing something for them as well, if you get me.
Yeah, exactly. It's about adding value to each other, definitely. Like, I mean, I know how hard it is from being, I mean, I literally like September time, I had like 300 followers on Instagram, like, and like 250 subs on YouTube, which is just crazy to me. Like, sometimes I take a step back because I'm so involved and like, I'm so focused on like gaming and like working and everything. Every now and again, you take a step back and you're like, wow, that's crazy. Like,
feels surreal,
and then you're like, and then you're like, oh, right, cool. Then it passes and you're like back into it.
You should forget that there's so many people actually watching the videos. Like, you having 15,000 subscribers. It's like, it's real people that have been on your channel, seen your beats, subscribed.
And you forget that. You just think it's numbers on the screen. But even 500 views, even like 200 views, they're real people. Like, that's still a lot of people. And like, I feel like people should always, I'm a very big, massive advocate for YouTube and producers. Producers saying, oh, I don't know the YouTube people who steal my beats and stuff. But I feel like that's just
old school mentality.
I feel like if someone steals your beat, like, it's still, your tag's going to be in the beat and still going to put your name out there. Like, if the song realistically blows up, then obviously you're going to know about it and you're going to get that back through lawyers or whatever. Like, there's ways about getting it back. If people
you can always prove that you've made the beat. You've got the project file.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Like, I just feel like that's an old school mentality as well. Like, I feel like YouTube is the best way to like come up in a producing scene. 100%.
It's still where rappers are looking all the time. Like, if you're not uploading your beats to YouTube, then who's going to hear them?
Where else are you going to put them?
Yeah,
exactly. I feel like people focus on Instagram and stuff, but I feel like even that, the algorithm isn't as good as YouTube. Like, I feel like it doesn't go about it the same way. Like,
Instagram's mad, because like, you'll make like one post and it will reach like, it could reach a few thousand people, then the next post might reach 200, and it's just like, I don't even know how the algorithm works. Yeah, there's no consistency. You can't even reach like half of who's actually following you. And rappers aren't really on Instagram looking for beats. No one's like just scrolling through Instagram looking for beats. They're going on YouTube or BeatStars or working with people.
And so many people are tagging them all the time. Like, I see that all the time. Like, people on stories and posts like tag at B9 or tag at, you know, whoever. Like, big UK artists are trying to get on this. Rappers must get this. Like, even the smaller ones must get like hundreds a day, and they're just like, oh, must be so annoying all the time. Like, I did that. I definitely tried that. I'm not gonna lie. that does work. It sometimes does work. Don't get me wrong. Like I know people that have tagged the smaller artists in their stories. People are like, yeah, send me that beat, and it's worked out. But for the most part, I feel like you can't rely on that. That's not something that you can rely on, especially as like a job. If you're taking producing really seriously, like I feel like you definitely need a platform like YouTube. If you're not in the industry, then that's the only way I can see like people actually making a career out of producing.
Yeah, definitely. Thing with Instagram, like doing that in your stories, just tagging everyone without, if you don't know the person, you just keep tagging them in stories, they're just gonna get pissed off. And shit can work on Instagram, but it's about how you speak to people. Like it's a social media platform. It's like I always compare it to like a real life situation. Like if Instagram was like a real place, right, and you walked in, you won't just like throw all these beats at rappers or just walk up to them and saying, yo, check out my beat. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to communicate with people on a real level. Like maybe just like maybe start liking some of the posts, drop them a message and say something like, yo, bro, that last single you put out was fire, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just like start a genuine
build
conversation. Build a
relationship.
relationship. And then at some point you can let them know that you're a producer, you know, you want to send some beats over. Is it cool? You know what I mean? Just a natural thing, because they're gonna remember you for a start because you've actually spoken to them, and it's different to all the other messages that they get, which are just links and spamming. So
I feel like it's just getting in their DMs, not in their requests. Like even just getting out of their DMs, like even just reposting like their new single, and they'll repost it. A lot of rappers do that.
Yeah.
Because once you're in their DMs, most time rappers do check their DMs. Like, I think that's. I know some people that do really well at like DMing rappers and like getting sales that way. But I feel like that's a lot of effort. Like you're consciously doing that. Like you're thinking, right, in order to do this, I've got to DM 50 rappers a day. I've got to.
Yeah.
It's so that's so long. Like that. Yeah, that's cool. It definitely does work, and I would advise some people doing that. Like definitely to do that as well as doing YouTube or other stuff. But
I think it's important to do both at first, isn't it? Just try each thing, and then
definitely.
Once one starts taking off, that's when you can put a bit more time into that. Because YouTube for type beats especially, there's so many. I don't even know how many producers there are these days. There must be millions, man. I don't know how many there are on BeatStars. I think BeatStars has over 1 million users. I could be wrong, but there's loads, and everyone's trying the type beat thing, and not many people succeed at it. It could be down to a few reasons, but I do know a lot of people that are uploading beats constantly, like consistently, and the channels just aren't growing. What would you say to that person who's like, yo, Jester, I'm uploading beats like every other day, nothing's changing, like the views aren't going up, subscribers aren't going up, like what could it be?
Yeah. See, I get this a lot because when I was like coming up and growing and stuff, I had a lot. One thing I did is I networked a lot. Like I had a lot of producer people that I speak to. Like every day, I would speak to people. I'd join their lives. I'd like do I'd comment on their stuff. I'd make jokes. I'd be like whatever. Like I'd be very active on my phone all the time. I'd always be like networking. People used to like message me all the time, just how you doing this on YouTube? And I'd always tell them like the same things. Like how are you doing this? Because fair enough. I'm just like, at that time I was just one of these thousands of drill producers that are just sort of like they've got all right beats. They're just like sort of like in that lane of just making beats for fun and not really going anywhere with it.
Yeah.
So I understand why people at first are like, how is this guy doing this? Like, what is he buying views? Is he like
everyone thinks it's a secret?
Or like everyone thinks it's a secret.
Holding
like
something.
He's holding something. Like he's using some mad secret. I always get Jester's hacked the YouTube algorithm and stuff. But like, you know what it was? I took a look, sort of a realization. I sort of looked at these big channels and realized what they're doing. And shout out Chris Rich, because you probably can see from my thumbnails, I'm definitely inspired by him because he sort of inspired me to do YouTube.
Chris Rich is killing it, man.
Because for real, like he needs to get back on the YouTube game because
Definitely.
But anyway, that aside, I heard his beats in like January, February on YouTube. I was like, what is this? I've never heard anything like that before. I was like, this is crazy. So I was just thinking, like, I want to start YouTube, and like he was the main guy. I looked at what he was doing, like with his thumbnails, like his titles and his tags. He didn't really do a lot of like the tags that I do. I don't think. Like I saw he had a lot less tags than some people, but it was him. It was loads of other like producers out there, like even the trap type beats producers. Like, what are they doing that makes them successful and me not successful? You know what I mean? So I'd be like, I'd try loads of different titles. You can probably see on my channel, I did loads of different titles.
Yeah, of course.
But it was basically about finding your niche. Like that's the main thing, is finding like your main artist or artist to go to.
Yeah.
And finding a lane with really, really low competition, but like a decent amount of search volume. And I definitely recommend getting vidIQ.
I was just going to ask if you use vidIQ or TubeBuddy for keywords.
Yeah, I use vidIQ, but mainly just for like analysis of like competition, or like seeing like the score for like which is basically like the competition and search volume, which gives you an overall score. I just use it for that, and then I look at what these people are doing, and I've realised that sort of the typical like UK drill piano beats, obviously like I love them as much as any person, like they're cool, but I feel like they're very oversaturated, and I feel like, right, what is a lot of not people doing? I was like, these New York drill beats, like these New York sort of sounding beats with the different melodies and stuff. So I sort of did that, and I found this lane eventually of Abracadabra and Dutchavelli, and that was like my main sort of lane I started to gain traction with, and that was my first 1,000 views in the video, and then my first 10,000 views in the video, etc.
So were you searching for keywords on vidIQ, and then you saw that like Dutchavelli was a good keyword and Abracadabra was a good keyword, so then you just put them all together? You know what it was?
Abra was just dropping loads of music at the time, and he was blowing up after like On Deck, Show Me, all these, and he was dropping so much music. So you got to think he's popping at the moment. And I just think people have got to be like looking at Abracadabra, like his name's everywhere. Like they've got to be looking for his type of beats. Rappers at the time, like, that beat's mad. Like, I want to keep beats like that. Definitely. So I was just thinking, I was looking at Abracadabra like the top channels for competitors, which is a good thing to look at, by the way. And you can see like how regularly are these big channels posting these type of beats. And the biggest one was, in fact, like I think it was Chris Rich, and he had like 90,000 views, but that was like 3 months ago. And no one was really doing these beats. Like I think like maybe Rickson maybe was, but like he wasn't consistently doing it.
There's a guy called Saint Cardona, I think his name is as well.
Oh, Saint Cardona, he's crazy. His beats are crazy. Yeah. He's the Pop Smoke stuff, isn't he? Like Pop Smoke.
And 5-0.
And 5, the New York. So I looked at these, and that's definitely thing you should look at, like the top channels and how regularly they are posting, if you can outrank them. Because basically, like YouTube, I would say it's like a Jenga tower. Like you're trying to get above these towers, and like in order to do that, you've got to get as many beats out as possible in that niche. And you're trying to get the biggest tower in that niche. How many beats can you get out of that type of beat? Because that's gonna you're gonna rank. Eventually, you start to rank in the search terms for these beats. Your beats are going to come up more. And that's what I did with Abracadabra type beats. I was the most regular guy. I was posting Abra x Dutch, switch the thumbnail round, Dutchavelli on the thumbnail, Dutchavelli x Abracadabra, and I just sort of switched the two. Because I feel like YouTube posting the same type of beat every time, I don't think YouTube likes that. I did that a few times and the views went down.
What, just keeping like the same title and the same tag every time?
I feel like that doesn't really, like, this is exactly the same. I feel like that's, I don't think that works. I think you've got to have some variation in there. So I did that, and I also did this New York artist called 22Gs and Coach the Ghost, and they did these piano, like simple, like hard-hitting piano drill beats. So as I said, they're oversaturated, but I looked at this Coach the Ghost guy, and he was really, like, no one was doing him. The top channel was 300 subscribers, and the views were like 10K though, so they were getting some good views. So I started to do that as well, and they were easy beats. I could make them beats in an hour, and like they'd start to do good views. So I just did those two beats, alternating really, and then one beat sort of took off. It was called Bandit. It was an Abracadabra type beat. And then another Coach the Ghost type beat, Gooey, that sort of did crazy as well. I had to take that off my channel because someone bought it off my beat styles exclusively. Back when nice. I don't really sell my beats exclusively like that anymore, because I prefer like to leave them up on my channel.
Yeah, because you never know, especially if the video's popping off as well. You might sell the exclusive for, just as an example, maybe it's a couple hundred, but then you could sell that at least 100 times. Do you know what I mean? For 30.
And I've definitely got some regrets on YouTube, but that beat in particular, like that was massively undersold price wise. I feel, because that
we've all been there though.
Yeah, but I've done that like 3 times now. Accidentally sold the exclusive because on BeatStars I've just been a muppet or whatever. And every time I kick myself, I'm like, oh, I've done it again. I can't believe it. I see the sale come through my phone. I'm like, no, please. I've sold it.
It's hard, isn't it? When it's dangling in front of you, you think, I'm just going to take it. It's hard to predict though, because that video, it might do well, but it might not. It's just so hard to predict. Yeah,
100%. But anyway, aside from that, I was just posting these beats consistently. And then these beats were starting to get loads of views. And then I sort of, when I got a K subscribers, I sort of was thinking, right, I've sort of outgrown these type of beats now, because I think I've sort of got an audience locked in.
Right.
I wanted to try like bigger bigger search terms because I had a bigger audience. So I feel like I could get enough traffic in the beginning of my videos to like push them out for bigger artists like Pop Smoke, Vivio Foreign, etc. So yeah, I started to do Fabio Foreign type beats as well. I started that, and then more recently I've been doing Pop Smoke type beats, and they've started really accelerating my channel's growth 100%. Like Rowdy Rebel as well. Like I feel like doing a big artist with a smaller artist next to it is definitely a good way to do it, because people will be searching for these smaller artists. You can rank for the smaller artist, but if the video does really well, then that's going to rank for that bigger artist as well.
Yeah,
exactly. So you're sort of spreading your risk sort of over these two artists.
So you're not just going with two consistently now?
You know, I don't even know. If I'm on my channel, it's like I sort of change it about a bit, because I stick to Pop Smoke. I'm doing that quite a lot because he's got the highest search term in drill.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the best thing to do. But yeah, sometimes if the beat's not really Pop Smoke, I'll do Fivio, or I'm doing Dusty Locane at the moment because I feel like he's going to be quite big coming out of New York.
Right.
And those beats have done really well. Like one beat's like #1 ranked for Dusty Locane already, and that's doing really well views wise. So I sort of do mix it about, but I sort of stick to a similar group of artists.
Yeah. It just goes back to sticking to one lane, doesn't it? Like you've got to be sticking to one lane, 100%.
That's it, 100%. And I feel like with YouTube, I feel like every little detail matters.
Yeah.
Like people say, "What are videos doing? Well, I won't do it as well." I could point out 2 minor things, but it's those 2 minor things that probably be setting you back.
Yeah.
Because with YouTube, you've got to do everything right. Every little detail has to be like spot on. I feel. But like, if you want to really like grow your channel, because like if let's say even your tags are bad, or your thumbnail's a bit crap, or your title's not good, then like you got to think, why does this video deserve to hit 1 million views? Like you got to post every video with the mindset that this is going to hit 1 million views, and like it needs to be in 1 million view type video. Like the thumbnail, the text, the name, even the name of the beat's really important as well. Like I spend an hour on like a thesaurus looking up like names, like typing in like emotion and trying to like find similar words and stuff. Titles, I spend like an hour trying to find titles just to my beats, because they've got to be like short and like succinct and like.
Yeah, especially if you put in text in the middle of it, it's usually just got to be like one word, doesn't it? Just like a strong word to use.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to have like a ring to it. I feel it's got to have a ring to it. Everything's like marketing, like the beat and everything. Like the biggest beat on my channel called Zaza. Like I did it Abracadabra Stacciavelli, but it was like a CJ type beat, basically, the Indian sample with like the New York drums. And I feel like that just sort of did so well because of the name, like Zaza, it's in the lyrics, and it's like sort of short, it sort of embodies the beat. People just like, it was quite catchy, Zaza, like I want the Zaza beat or whatever. It just sort of had a ring to it, you know? I feel like that matters.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everything that you said there with YouTube makes sense. It's like you have to have each part on point. The thing with vidIQ though, I've said this in quite a lot of my podcast, but I was like just testing it and searching my own name. Like I would type in like J Cactus, and it was saying that like a couple 100,000 people were searching my name every month. And I was just like, there's no way that could be true, because I'd be on like millions of subscribers right now. So then I started thinking maybe it's not that accurate, because YouTube never released their official algorithm. So vidIQ and TubeBuddy, they must have their like own algorithm of like working out a rough score. Because when you read into the software, not like the small print, but just little bits on the website, it's not like this is the official YouTube algorithm and this is where we're getting our data from. So I don't know how they do it, but maybe it pulls like how many videos come up under that search term and like how many views like all together, and then they divide it. I don't know, you know what I mean? But it just got me thinking that maybe they're not that accurate. Maybe they are to like some extent, but I stopped focusing on keywords like as much when I saw that. But it's obviously working for you and works for a lot of other people. So it's kind of tricky. I couldn't really get my head around it. I couldn't figure out whether we should be investing so much time in it, or just whether it's just down.
I use it as a tool. Like, I don't really use it like that much. I sort of just use it again to see what search terms, what's the competition like, what's the search volume like. I don't look specifically at the search volume, but I think
it will give you a good general idea, definitely.
Yeah, it gives you a rough idea, and that's sort of all you need, really. And like, That's all I really use it for. Maybe to see like top channels. That's about it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wouldn't like focus on it. People are like, should I pay the $50 a month thing? I don't. I've got the free version. Like,
yeah,
I don't think you need to pay for it or anything. It's just a good, useful tool to have for like research purposes, I'd say.
yeah, 100%. So obviously the thumbnail is the like one of the starting things as well, because people need to be scrolling through, and you need to catch their attention basically, don't you? And you said
Yeah, 100%.
you've kind of got that popping with your thumbnails. It's just kind of clear. There's like text on there. It's like maybe you up the saturation a little bit to get it popping. Just little things like that. Obviously, you said that.
Yeah, I sort of
yeah, sorry.
focus on like one. Yeah, no, I sort of focus on like having. I use a software called Canva. Like, I don't mind telling people that. I always tell people that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
free,
like the free version of
free.
Photoshop, isn't it?
It's the free
Yeah,
version. Yeah. I tell everyone this. Like, what software do you use? Like, you can probably find my text on there. Even like, feel free to use it. I mean, I don't know if it will do you well because they saw me using it, and I don't know. But yeah, like I sort of do that. I have like a big, bold like thing. And like my logo, which I made in like 2 minutes on Canva, it's not really anything special. I just need something like quickly.
It does the job though. It does the job.
It does the job, and it's quite cool now. It's kind of like a little luminescent writing at the bottom of the screen, like Jester. It's just like branding basically. Any logo will do as long as it looks like simple and clean.
Yeah, definitely.
And I use the screenshots and the artist videos. That's how I get the photos.
Yeah.
So I go on like Abracadabra. That was why it was so good. I don't think I could do that any other artist, because he was dropping so many videos. I had so much like content for my thumbnails.
Yeah.
So like I could just get so many good screenshots and like thumbnails.
Yeah. Sometimes if you're doing like a certain artist type beats and they release videos like every 6 months, you've already used up all the screenshots. Yeah. It's a struggle to find something. Have you ever come across any problems with using them pictures? Because really, we don't like have the rights to use them images, but I haven't heard of anyone that's had an issue. Someone commented on one of my videos recently saying, "How can you get away with using these pictures?" And I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Everyone's always done it, and everyone's always got away with it. So I don't.
Yeah, I've never had like an issue like about the pictures. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing Pop Smoke, and rest in peace Pop Smoke, but he hasn't obviously not dropping any more videos. There's not a lot of footage of him out there. Course, so I could spend like 2 hours looking through a thumbnail of Pop Smoke now. It's getting harder and harder every Pop Smoke type beat, because there's just no like good clean photos of him. Like the thumbnails are sort of starting to deteriorate. I don't want to use rinsed like photos and thumbnails. Like I think that's another important thing. Like you've got to try and use different images, because it was already big beats using the same photo. People are gonna be like, oh, like they'll brush it aside and stuff. I don't think it's you don't want to be like labeled as a copycat as well, like for using exactly the same photos as like the same people, you know.
Definitely. One other thing that I found is that's huge on YouTube is watch time. Like from doing tutorials, the ones that people watch more, that basically tells YouTube that people are enjoying it, and then they start recommending it to other people, and that's when you start getting serious views. So do you do anything in your beats thinking about that? Do you think I need to keep this beat interesting so that people are gonna continue to listen to it on YouTube? Because if it's so repetitive, then people might just click off quick. But I feel like even from me listening to your beats, it seems like you've got a lot of them times where it's like maybe there's like a pause in the melody, and there's like a quick switch of like kicks and 808s. If that makes sense, like you're changing the pattern quite regularly.
Yeah.
Is that with the intention of like getting people to listen to it more on YouTube, or is it just something that you like doing in your beats?
See, kind of both in a way. So for me, like I hate repetitiveness in beats. Like now I'm starting to realize that's like not a bad thing, because the artist's voice and stuff, and the engineer will chop it up. But like when I was first starting, I don't really have a structure to my beats either. I don't think like chorus, pre-hook, like verse, etc., bars, whatever. I sort of just make the beats and like bring elements in and out and roughly do it. Like I sort of freestyle on the beats and just like do it by ear, like have a rough idea of my structure. But yeah, those like chops and like little drops throughout the beat, I feel like they're just cool. Like I feel like they just keep the attention, and like if I'm like ever like an artist is hearing it, and like I've been on lives and the artists have been like freestyling my beats, and it's the first time hearing them, like the beat will cut out for like 2 seconds, and like what happened? And it comes like in like boom boom, and they're like what? Like you know what I mean? It's just like they're not expecting it. It's like that surprise.
Definitely.
And they'll listen
That's
to
how
it
you get people
longer
to reload your stuff as well, because they're like,
exactly.
What was that?
They're
and then
like, what was that? You reload it. Yeah, we'll pull it, and then but I like doing like transitions, and I think one thing that makes probably one of the only things that makes you stand out, especially for my beats wise, is my arrangement and like the stuff I do with my chops and like how I arrange it. It probably seems a bit silly to a lot of people because like, the engineers can do that, whatever. But I feel like it just hits differently when the artist hears it from the beat. They're like, I feel like they just get it in their ear, like something different. And producers as well, like they hear that, like, oh, that's so hard. Like just hearing like little stuff just chopping about and like kicks like stuttering. It's just like skank face. You're like, oh, that was cold.
Because they do that shit when they're engineering it anyway. Like you just said, like they always add them chops and everything, and maybe they take a couple kicks to hit on like whatever bar they're saying. So yeah, maybe just throw them in before.
I'm just doing the job for them. Yeah, I'm just doing the job for them. So engineers,
that can help them write as well. It can help them write sometimes because once they've got that like certain part where there's like a break in the beat and the kicks are hitting or whatever, that's like telling the artist, right, in this part I need something serious here. I need something catchy, or it needs to be a good punchline or just something, because that's where all the attention's going to be on the artist.
And that definitely helps watch time as well. Like I feel like I know people with crazy watch times as well. Like shout out Kaza, who's obviously another YouTube goat. Like his watch time, I've seen his stuff like 2 minutes long on beats. I'm like, how the hell do you get that? Yeah, like mine's it ranges from about one. Actually, to be fair, I had a video of the other day. I got like 1 minute 10. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But then the other one was 1 minute 40. So I'm like, okay. But it's about 1:30. Let's say like you get good and bad ones like 1:50, but it's about 1:30. Which I think is all right. I think that's
definitely
pretty decent.
For beats, 100%.
Yeah, like I don't really know because I don't really like compare that much with other producers and stuff. But my beats are always really short. Early on, they're like 2 minutes 30. I used to hate making them long for some reason, but now I make them much longer, which I would recommend because that helps watch time, I think, as well.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few different people, definitely. So it's mad that you don't really arrange a beat. You're not really setting a structure, because some people obsess over it and they're always asking me, how do I arrange my beats? How do I arrange drill beats? But you're not even coming up with an arrangement. You're letting the artist decide.
See, I feel like I'm different in the sense that, I'm different, crazy, but like not like that. Like, I mean, like in the sense, like I just do it by ear. I do everything by ear. I don't worry about the key or anything like my piano 808. I just do it by ear, like what sounds right. And like I feel like I have my intro. Like that's pretty. Like I either make it drop on the after the 8 bars or the 16.
Yeah.
And that's always the case. I have my intro, but after that, I've sort of got, I'll bring elements in and out. I think, oh yeah, this would be a good place here, and then I'll just sort of structure it. I spend probably longer than most people structure my beats. That's probably the longest time I spend.
Yeah.
The beat will be done in like 20 minutes.
I can be like that sometimes.
Yeah, because that's how I do it. Like I'll make the rough beat.
Yeah.
And I'll structure out, and then I'll add things as I go to the beat.
Yeah.
And that's just how that's my process, I guess. It takes me too long, but
no, I'm with you there 100%. Because when you start arranging it, that's when you can do like new 808 patterns. And it's not like trap beats. When I see people making trap beats on YouTube, it's just like there's one pattern and then they just copy it out on the playlist and then change it.
Over. Yeah.
But with drill beats, to keep it interesting, because a lot of the times the melodies are quite repetitive. Obviously, you can keep it interesting with new 808 patterns, but with drill, it takes kind of longer than trap beats anyway to do the 808s, because you've got to add all the slides, make sure it's sounding right, and then you add in all the transitions and effects. So 100% I'm with you on that one. I spend a lot of time arranging my beats sometimes, but it's because you're making new patterns as you go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to do like 10 different 808 patterns in a beat. That sounds mad, but that's because of my like stutters and stuff. I add the slides, but now I'm kind of sticking to like 2 or 3. Like I'm sort of chilling out with crazy variation. Like variation is definitely important. I feel like you can do that without having loads of patterns. Like I've realized that now in hit songs, the familiarity of actually the 808 patterns can be a good thing, because that's like the chorus or whatever. So I'm 100%. Starting to realize that now. But because before I have like maybe 2.5 months ago, you listen to my early beats on my YouTube. Every 8 bar 808 pattern was different. Like the slides would get progressively more higher and higher, and it would be like more crazy. They'd be like, whoa. We'd like, nah, too much. Like it would get too crazy.
Yeah, that can be too much for people, because you were just about to say it then, but it's when you've got something, like there might be certain times in the beat where something sick has happened, and then the artist is kind of waiting for that to happen again further down the line. Or even the average listener is waiting for that to happen again. So maybe it's one of them drops, like you said, but if you were switching it up every pattern, it's like there's too many surprises now. Like you want it to be like you want to change it like just enough to like not make it repetitive,
Exactly.
but not too much where they don't even know what's gonna come next. You know what I mean? There's like a fine balance between
definitely.
them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
So talk to me about some of your placements actually, because just looking at your credits, there's been some crazy ones. I take it that's just happened recently once the channel started growing.
Everything's been recent. Yeah, like in the like I always make this sure I'm the last person to know about my placements because like I'll get sent them from like other producers, so I don't really follow loads of accounts like that. Like a producer friend will just send me like, "Is this your beat?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, shit, that's my beat," and I'll be like, "Oh, produced by me, whatever."
So it's just people finding them on YouTube and then buying the beat on BeatStars.
It's mainly YouTube. They don't always buy the beat on BeatStars. Sometimes I have to chase them up and like whatever. But that's cool for the most part. That I've never really had the main issue of an artist not paying for a beat or stuff.
Yeah.
But that's my short career as a but yeah, like I did send beats out as well. Like in the first like month of like taking things seriously. I'm speaking like as a 4 months time scale, by the way, because like this is where I feel like I sort of had a bit of traction. That like maybe November time, I used to like send beats out to like this email list I'd have like, every day. Like I'd send like 3 beats out to these like groups of people, and I've got placements from that now like, after like 3 months. So like, but not loads, but like maybe 1 or 2 that have come from that.
Yeah,
and so I'd used to be consistent, but like I've had opportunities that have come from that. Not loads. I'm not like saying I've got loads of placements from emails, but I feel like they do work. But that YouTube, Instagram, like word of mouth, but it's mainly from YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. Like mainly.
Which was the first one you got? Can you remember?
What, my first placement?
Like your first major placement where you were like, right, like
major placement. See, my first ever beat sale was last year lockdown in March, and I was so gassed. My first major placement, I don't really know, like, what you count as major, like...
Maybe just, like, I've had, just a big artist where it's been, like, a shock to you, and maybe you just started believing in yourself proper, like, yo, this is actually serious.
See, that's kind of hard, because I've got a lot of... It sounds crazy. I've got a lot of placements, but not with, like, big artists, but, like, sort of like them sort of middle tier ones of like 20,000-30,000 followers, and I feel like probably one of those, like that was when I was like quite excited. But big placements, maybe OFB or maybe like Jordan the Daily Duffy, like that's all been quite recent.
Oh yeah, you did the Daily Duffy, didn't you? That's not out yet, is it? Has he released it yet?
No, it's not out yet. No, that's all coming out. All my placements, I'm sort of seeing the videos being shot to them like right now, like, as we speak today. And like everything's been announced. I'm getting like 3 placements announced a day. It's all like, what the hell's going on? Like everything's crazy because everything's happening at the same time. Like, everything's because I've been on that time scale. Artists have seen my beats from 2 months ago, and they've got a lot of views. So a load of artists have seen these beats, and only now, obviously, the time frame, everything's sort of dropping. So yeah, I mean, that probably was a main OFB was where I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, when I remember when Double L was DM me, I was like, this is mad. I was so gassed. Like, I was like, yeah, that's it.
It's a good feeling, isn't it, when you get that first person on your beat?
Oh yeah. Like even CB as well. I don't know if you recorded it. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but yeah, he messaged me and I remember he followed me. I was like, oh, that's mad. But CB followed me. This was like a month and a half, 2 months ago maybe. And I was so gassed. Like, when then artists follow you out the blue and they message you, there's no better feeling. Cause like, they mess my music. Like, yeah, it's just crazy.
It just shows that your work's paying off as well. Because if you're just uploading and no one's messaging you, it can hurt your confidence. It might make some people stop uploading, stop making beats because they're like, I'm trying, but no one's getting on them. So yeah, once you finally get that message, it definitely gives you the motivation to keep going, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say just keep trying with YouTube because it's not for everyone, but yeah, I feel like from a me perspective, that's the best way to like definitely to come up like in the producer scene and to get placements, like and a consistent income as well.
Yeah,
like, definitely.
Yeah, people think it's saturated, but like me and you have shown it this year because I get people saying it all the time. Like, I don't want to start a channel because YouTube's too saturated. There's too many producers on there. Well, yeah, there is a lot of producers on there, but not everyone's doing it the right way. Not everyone's consistent with it.
Exactly.
Not everyone's beats are good because they don't put in the time. And there's also a lot of rappers out there. So like there's new producers coming up every day, but there's also new rappers coming up every day. So you can't think that it's just too
Exactly.
saturated, so you're not going to try. Because I've
I
proved it
feel
with my
like if
channel,
you've
you've
got,
proved it with yours. Like
yeah,
it
definitely.
can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, I feel like if you've got good beats and you're an intelligent person, like you know how to market yourself, I feel like you can easily do well on YouTube.
Yeah.
I help out a lot of my mates with YouTube. I always give them advice the best I can, and stuff. But then they start to see results as well. I'm not claiming to be like their success or anything, but like even a few tips and stuff that I can help with.
Yeah.
And from those like little things that I've like given them advice about, they're starting to see some good numbers and they're getting some subscribers. And I definitely think there's room on YouTube. Like people say it's saturated. They're only saying that because they're not doing very well on YouTube. You know, like people say, "Oh, YouTube's saturated." That's because you're not doing things like you're not going about it the right way.
Yeah.
Like your beats may be good, but it's all about learning to like to market yourself and build a brand.
Of course, man. Do you do anything else in terms of marketing? Like, do you use email marketing, like any other kind of service, or is it literally just posting on YouTube, staying active on socials?
Instagram. Yeah, stay active on Insta. Like I just stay active as much as I can on Instagram. Like DM people and join lives and go live. I go live quite a lot on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just make beats. I don't know, like just talk to people. What I do when I'm bored, it's like 8 o'clock and I'm making this beat to upload.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll go live, chat to some people, like whatever. Like I don't know. It's just that's what I do really. I just post on YouTube and or Instagram. I'm trying to get Twitter going as well. But like, yeah,
Trying to get
really
Twitter going, did you say?
Yeah, that's proven difficult. Twitter's
yeah,
like,
I can't lie. I'm not active on Twitter at all. I just kind of thought it died out. I don't know if that's because I just don't use it. There's obviously still a huge audience on there. Was there any reason why you wanted to go for Twitter and not something like maybe like TikTok? Obviously, TikTok's popping right now.
See, in lockdown, I did a TikTok and it got like 400,000 views. That's some stupid comedy thing. That was in like March. But I've got a TikTok. I've rebranded it as Jester Beats and stuff. I've got no posts, but I've got like 4,000 followers on there or something. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's. I don't know. I don't know if that's the lane I want to go down. Like to be a TikTok producer. Like, I feel like for some people, it's definitely a niche there. That's definitely a cool way to do it. But right now, for me, I thought Twitter would be a good way because like, I feel like at this point I've got to have more ways people can access me. You know, from YouTube because some people prefer Twitter to Instagram. Yeah, it's just I feel like I should be everywhere. You know, as much as I can.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's good to try all social media platforms, and then once a couple start working, that's when you can start putting more time into it. Like I was trying. I think I was mainly trying like Instagram. I tried TikTok at first, but I couldn't really. I don't know if it was because I couldn't work it out or I just weren't like enjoying the platform. I felt weird just doing them little videos because they're only short videos, aren't they? So I found it hard to like have something that's got something to do with a beat, like just put into that short period of time. So on Instagram, I was trying them things like just playing a beat on the drum pads. You know what I mean? Like you see producers doing that stuff all the time. So I was trying trying other things, and then once YouTube started taking off a little bit, I just doubled down on that. So I think everyone's just got to do that. You just got to try all social media platforms, see what you're most comfortable with, see what you're getting some traction with, and then kind of just double down on that. But regardless, I think everyone should have a YouTube account for beats. If you don't have 100%. One, then you're just gonna get left behind. I don't think that it's saturated either, because well, it is, but I mean. So many people.
It's not oversaturated. People say it's oversaturated. It's saturated, but like there's definitely room to come up 100%. I feel like I've proved that in a way because I've literally and other people are doing it now as well. Like I'm seeing like smaller channels that are doing it. They're starting to get some good views. I know what I do on my YouTube, and I just feel like it's the best way for producers. You get the most out of it. Like you're getting income as well if you start beat styles from it, like that's consistent, like fairly consistent, like it can be on and off beat styles. That's another story. Then like I feel like even YouTube ad revenue, like placements, like even networking with A&Rs, managers, like people it's probably the best platform to just get stuff out there. Like you need a place to showcase your beats, your talent, whatever. I feel like it is the best way to do so.
Yeah, 100%. And people think that you have to compete with every other producer, which is just not the case. We kind of just covered that a bit ago, but you're competing with the people that are on the same, like have like the same kind of mindset and that are using it properly. they're the people that you're competing with. You're not competing with like every single producer on YouTube. So it's about outsmarting people and doing things like you were saying, like going for them artists type beats where maybe at the start it's not like the biggest artist in the world. You want to go with them ones that it's kind of like, let me think how to put this. You kind of like taking a bet on someone like a stock in a way where it might be someone that you think is going to blow.
Exactly.
Because then, for example, you were doing Abracadabra when he was starting to pop off. And then once it gets to a certain level where he's got all these videos out and now everyone's listening to him, you've grown with him in a way. Like your Beats channel has grown with him because you've invested early. You've done all of his type beats, and then once he's popping off, yeah, that's how you start getting all the views then. Because some people will try, like they'll start a channel and then they'll go for the biggest keywords straight away, like Pop Smoke, for example, when there's so many other people doing Pop Smoke. You can do that at some point, but I think, yeah, definitely go for the more low-key ones, the ones that you can see that have potential to grow.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, for me, honestly, if I'm going to give a tip to any of you lot trying to start YouTube, I'd say, I don't know what type of drill you make if you want to make drill, but I think like New York, definitely, like American artists is the way, because I feel like no one's doing them like properly. Like I see a lot of producers doing them, but like the UK drill is definitely saturated and stuff. But like I feel like people in America generally search for these smaller artists, like type of beats. Like take, I know, like A92, for example, they're definitely popping at the moment, like in drill scene stuff.
Right.
But I don't see a lot of people searching for A92 type beats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, let's say, for example, Busy Banks in America, like he's not massive, like huge artist, but that's a good type beat to do because he's getting like quite low competition, but a lot more search volume.
Right.
And that's what these American artists, I feel like there's definitely better way to go about things than like UK artists. And if we're going to do UK artists, then I feel like you've really got to research what you're doing. They've got to be established in the sense that people are actually going to search for those type of beats. Yeah. But they've got to have low enough competition that you can sort of, go for it and like be the top channel for that. It's about specializing, definitely, like taking over one niche and like controlling that lane.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I do at the moment. I do like New York drill. Like it was weird because I didn't even listen to a lot of drill music, but I was in love with the beats, and I always liked orchestral sounds. I was always like a fan of anything to do with like choir, strings, pianos. That's what I used to do in like a lot of my tutorials. So it was just kind of natural to me. So
yeah, the beats, I like the New York drill beats. I just the music, I don't listen to that much New York drill. Like, I do listen to New York drill. I know a lot of producers will make New York drill and not even like listen to it. I do listen to a lot of New York drill and stuff. I like New York drill. It's definitely evolving. It's like for the future and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like even like UK drill artists are starting to rap on more of these New York drill type of beats. I'm seeing that now with like placements and stuff. I just feel like it's the instrumentation, it's the melodies and like the drums and like everything about them. I just feel like those type of beats I just like making. You have a lot more creativity than like the UK drill beats sort of allow you to do in a way.
Yeah, because all of them UK drill beats, everyone was coming out with the same stuff. It was that same like chord progression where it's just the two notes on top of each other. Everyone was just coming out with them same chords. So of course it's going to get boring. Whereas with like New York drill, do you know what? Drill in general is just expanding in so many different directions. You can do anything with it now. It's not like you have to use a
melodic
piano.
Drill, like,
melodic drill. You can use guitars, like Japanese sounds with like kotos, like just anything. You can turn anything into a drill beat now. So there's still a lot of lanes it can go. So that's another thing for YouTube. It's you've got to find your lane. So you might be maybe there are some people who are maybe like the go-to channels for like strings and choirs, but you could be the go-to channel for Japanese style drill, which is still like hard drill beats, but you're still kind of narrowing it down in a way. So I think there's just so many directions it could take.
Yeah, 100%. And like even UK drill is still like I feel like drill is the most like innovative genre like for producers. Like you can stand out the most with drill. Like, I feel like trap beats, there's not really a lot you can do to stand out. I feel like most stuff been done. But like with drill, like there's so much room for like innovation. Like the melodies, even like the drum sounds, like you're seeing weird sound. Even the Dior snare, when that came out for the first time, like, what is that? Like, that's such a weird sound. But obviously now it's like one of those popular sounds. But like it's just there's always so much room and like melodies. Like everything. I feel like it's got the most room for experimentation for you to stand out as a producer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think that's why I fell in love with making drill beats, because like trap beats, they can be kind of simple, but with drill, yeah, like you just said, you can experiment with them so much, all the different effects, like all the sounds that you use. Like some of the sounds you use in drill are just mad, aren't they? All the effects that you can add onto them, all the crazy 808 slides. It's like a fun genre to
Yeah,
produce
yeah.
for producers.
Exactly.
Talking about sounds, let's get into the technical side a little bit. So
Yeah.
we'll start with sound selection. So do you produce on FL? Did you say FL? Yeah.
Yeah, FL Studio. Yeah.
So what's your usual process like? You get your laptop, you open FL. What's the first thing you usually do? I'm
So
guessing
I
it
have a
varies.
template. Yeah, no, but I have a template set up. So like as soon as I open up FL,
Yeah.
I'll go to like you can set that up pretty easy. You can look that up on YouTube, whatever. But
Yeah.
so I automatically got like my melody, like if it's piano or like contact set up there.
Yeah.
I've got my counter snare, I've got a clap, I've got a kick in 808, and I've got my master on there. I've got like for example the 808 on cut self. I've shortened the envelope and stuff, so it's all like set up.
Right.
So I can literally, if I've got an idea, I can go into FL and lay it out in like 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
just quickly get the idea out into FL. So that's sort of my process, and like, they're the same sounds, but then I'll switch them out. Obviously, like if I want to, or I'll do that straight away. If I'm like, no, I'm not hearing that sound, but
Yeah.
at least I've got my sounds there ready to go. You know.
Definitely. I haven't even done that myself. I've been telling myself I need to just set up a template. I've still got them shit stock sounds in there. I've just been lazy with it. I don't know why I haven't done it. Could save myself so much time.
It's worth doing. It's definitely worth doing. It's so annoying every time like doing the 808 envelope and stuff. And, like,
Yeah. 100%.
Routing it to me. It just becomes tedious, you know.
So what have been some of your like go-to drum kits?
Drum kits. So I use a lot of drum kits. Like I use a lot of different ones. I mean, shout out to Fabo. I use a lot of his kits, and 256 Minaj. I use a lot of their kits.
Yeah.
Like even Minaj has got free ones on YouTube, and he has got some of the bonkers, like most bonkers sounds, like weird stuff. But if I want to go for like weird sounds, I'll go to his kits. And like Fabo's got really good like go-to drill sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Then apart from that though, I use like a lot of trap kits, like Nick Mirror kits and stuff for like different sounds, like the stuff you wouldn't normally hear, like my claps and like hats and like perks and stuff. 808s. I mean, I use a lot of different 808s to be honest. For a lot of different kits. I don't have a go-to, like I've got a go-to like 808. A lot of them is in my kit as well. I've got a free kit on YouTube. Some of the sounds all right. They were like mostly made by myself. So like that was my first kit I made. That was like 3 months ago. But the 808, some of them are quite good. Like there's a few 808s that are quite good. I use them on most of my beats now. So yeah.
Oh, that's hard then. I didn't even realize that you had a free kit out there. So you got a free drum kit.
Views. It's got like 3,000 views. It's like free to download. I just did that to try and get like more subs. It was like a sub to unlock thing, and I was like, I thought I'd work.
Definitely.
I got like 50 subs with that, or at the time when I was like first doing it, so I was quite pleased with it.
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, everyone's always looking for free drum kits, so and plus, if you've got like, I feel like producers always listen to other producers, and they always want to know what sounds they're using and how to sound like this other producer. So it makes sense that when you put out a drum kit, people want them sounds. So have you been getting into sound design as well? Is it something that you want to move forward with, or is it just like,
No, I like sound design. I don't do it enough, to be honest, because I'm not lazy, but I'm sort of focusing on other things. I'd rather make more beats than do sound design at the moment. But like, I definitely want to get more into sound design, and like I did it a bit for that kit, and like I do it sometimes. I'll definitely tweak. I've sort of tweaked sounds as I go, and I've sort of got like, a few sounds that I haven't like released or anything yet. That I just use, like my clap, for example, or like my 808 that I use. It's not really like the sounds. It's sort of like how you mix them. I feel like I could tell you the sounds I use, and they'd sound completely different to like how I'd use them to how anyone else would use them. It's how you mix them and stuff, and 100%. How you use them.
Do you have like a certain process for when you're mixing? Because I get asked this a lot. Like I get a lot of DMs saying, "How do you mix your beats?" When I've done tutorials on them, but every time I do a tutorial, I show people like I don't overcomplicate it with mixing. All I have on the master is the T-Rex classic clipper, and then on the individual instruments there might be like an EQ for the melodies, maybe like one other thing. Like I don't start compressing everything. I don't like do all this crazy shit, Because when you
See,
start off
I
with
do,
good
I do some
sounds,
weird
then
stuff.
it just sounds good
Yeah,
from
you
the
don't need
start, doesn't
to.
it?
Exactly. Yeah, like I mean, I might surprise you. I don't have speakers. That I used to. I mix off laptop speakers for the most part.
What?
Um,
That's mad.
yeah. So yeah. So I don't have like more. I've split my camera around. You usually see I've got a desk, my laptop, and my
Yeah.
laptop charging cable. I don't have any like equipment, like no interface. Like, and I did that, and then recently I got these AirPods Pros, which I've been using for the past like since Christmas.
Yeah.
Before that, I had nothing. I was literally just using laptop speakers, and then
That's
occasionally
crazy.
I used some like 2008 like lead Apple earphones, like, and they were terrible. Like the kick in the 808 was muffled,
Yeah.
but I feel like you can mix literally visually if you're using good samples and there's no like crazy frequencies.
Yeah.
You can sort of have a memorize like how your mixing process is if you're using similar sounds, and you can literally like see from the sound like how the levels things need to be. You don't even need to hear it. I could probably mix a good beat now, like without even hearing the beat. Like, if
That's
I'm
mad.
using sounds I know how to use. Yeah,
That's-
but I feel like that's just practice though. That's just spending time on FL.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing
I mean,
with mixing on like laptop speakers as well, or any speakers, is once you start knowing how to get that sounding good, then like for example, you might mix on your laptop speakers, and then once you've played it in cars and other like speakers or whatever, if you've been at a studio or one of your boys' houses or something, once you get to that point where you know how to mix well on your laptop, then that's just it, isn't it? Like you know how to make it good from
Exactly.
your system. You just get used to the speakers in a way and how they translate across other systems.
Yeah. Whatever you listen to music on, like laptop speakers or AirPods, I'm a big advocate of AirPods.
Yeah.
People tell me, "Oh, there's a delay from FL." I don't care. It works for me.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it works. Like whatever works. Whatever you listen to music on, if you listen to a lot of music, you know how music should sound. If you've got a good ear, you know it should sound in your ears.
Yeah.
And like you can just like recreate that pretty much, like the sound. It's like using a reference track. I've never done that. I've heard people that do.
Yeah.
But like you can sort of how stuff's meant to sound on these AirPods or your laptop.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, I feel like that's it. I mean, I have a soft clipper on my master. I don't do anything crazy. Like that's literally it. They have TR5. Is it TR5? I don't know what.
Yeah, that's
use.
the one that I use. The T-Rex, like it's called Classic Clipper, isn't it? The yellow one.
Yeah, everyone's telling me to get it, and like it will make it so much better. Like, I'm like, I can't be bothered. Like soft clipper works. I feel like I've got pretty good mixes and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I do that. I don't have any paid. I have no paid or like extra like mixing plugins, which a lot of people like, really, why? Like that could change your production a lot. Probably could. Again, I'm just stuck in my ways. I just like EQ.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's the thing, isn't it?
It literally, like, I use EQ, reverb, stereo enhancer, stereo shaper, like maybe some like other stock FL plugins that I use.
Yeah.
It's all stock plugins, and it's just I don't do a lot to them. I just do a lot of EQing. Like one thing I hate is like, you know, like the halftime piano over like phone speakers. You hear like a lot of pitch frequencies like pitching out.
Yeah.
I have like 10 EQs on like one rack, just trying to get the tiny bit of like EQ
things.
sound out. Yeah, just to get those little like sound. I just hate hearing them sounds. I hate. And I can't like the melody. I can't like finish it until those like sounds are out.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with stock plugins is you can do everything with stock plugins, especially for mixing. When you start spending money on different EQs and everything, it might just look better visually, or there might be a couple more options, but they all do the same shit. If you can get your mix sounding good with your stock plugins, there's no reason to spend money on other like mixing stuff. I think definitely though for instruments, like although people do say, oh, you can do everything with stock plugins, I think when it comes to like FL, like stock plugins, I think you do need to at some point start investing in better instruments. I know you said Contact earlier.
Yeah.
Contact's my go-to like all the time. You just
Contact's all you
can't
need.
beat the
I feel like
quality.
you don't need anything. Yeah, I feel like if you've got a load of contact banks, you don't need any other VST. Like for real, like Melody VST. I feel like that's. I feel some people can overdo it, like with like phrases and like trying to like create these crazy melodies. But if you're like good at making like samples and melodies, Contact's all you need for real. Like.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
I used to use Expand. I used to use Expand too. I think that's a very underrated plugin. It's like £9 or something.
Yeah,
it's really cheap.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah, and then even Flex on FL, the stock Flex is actually good.
Yeah.
I used to use Flex.
Do you know what? I haven't really taken advantage of Flex. I've heard so many good things about it. I haven't taken the time.
I'll give you some Source, the New York strings. Yeah, halftime. violas in the flex, like on the violins. One of my beats on YouTube, I've used that. I haven't used it again because I can get better sounds. But it's not actually that bad. Like you can create some decent melodies in flex. Like
I'm gonna have to check that one myself.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, 100%. Like the strings in there aren't bad. Like it's all right. And even what else is there? Like I don't know if it's Sakura. They've got some all right like
Sakura's sick.
guitars and stuff. Yeah, like I feel like even like if you don't have like loads of money for the thing, you can like sample stuff, like chopping up samples.
Yeah,
I love to do that as well. And like you can definitely do that in a way that no one would know it's a sample. Like if you're good at chopping samples.
Yeah, there's ways around it. You don't have to go out and spend loads of money on plugins. You just work with what you've got and then invest in something when it's the right time, when you might have the money to do that. But it shouldn't be something that holds you back. You shouldn't be not making beats just because you think you don't have all the right plugins and all the right sounds. You just got to work with what you have. That's what I tell people all the time.
Yeah, 100%, man.
So when it comes to making beats, do you think you're stronger with melodies or drums?
You see, I do a lot of collabs with producers at the moment because one, it saves a lot of time for melodies.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't know. I keep saying I'm lazy. I'm not lazy. Like, I spend a lot of time working and stuff. I feel like my work rate's pretty good, but yeah, like that's cool. Like, I like doing that. I love making my own melodies. Like you're hearing the Jewel and Day Duppy, that was my melody. I use no samples and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that melody a lot. And I like making my melodies, but for me, if I make a melody, it's got to be like real spot on. Like if I'm using Contact, like I can spend hours in a melody. Like believe me. And most of the time, like, I'll start a beat at 7:30. I've got at 10:30. I'm like, I'm quickly like, looking for samples. Like, that was cold. I use that. Like quick, use that. But to be honest, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty even between the two. Like if I generally like sat down and made more melodies, but I feel like collabing's part of the fun of it though. Like working with more producers, like spanning your network. Like I don't know. If I've got a big platform to help producers and get them to like get collab sales, and I'll do it. Like because why not? Because I'm giving them an opportunity, and like I've got a platform, and people see like co-prod by them, and they'll get opportunities from that, and it's about helping each other out. 100%.
Yeah, there's so many benefits to collabing because, like, let's say you've produced tracks with, like, in the past month, you've collabed with 10 people, for example. Obviously, they'll be uploading the beats as well, so that's 10 other platforms and 10 other audiences that are gonna see your name. So it's saving you some time because you don't have to come up with the melody all the time, and it can be better for your creativity as well because you might not have thought of that melody. That's someone else's ideas, which you never would have thought of. So you're just playing with new ideas.
That's what I mean.
You're on a whole new platform, 10 new platforms if you're doing 10 a month. Like there's so many benefits to it, man. And you never know who that person's sending the beat to as well, because if these other 10 producers are working just as hard as you, they're pushing these beats out just as much as you. So you never know like whose hands that beat's gonna fall in, and then you've both landed a placement. Like there's just so many benefits to it.
And I agree, but I'm quite picky with samples. Like people who send me a lot at the moment. I'm getting a lot of samples and melodies, and I can feel how these big producers feel, and like people like stop spamming your melodies. Like I listen to every melody people send me. Like I literally go through every night and listen to every single melody someone sends me. Even if their first 2 loops are bad, the third one might be good. They might have got lucky with the third good loop, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll always give people a chance like that because I was that person sending out loops, and I wasn't very good, but if you get a lucky like collab with someone, that's still like crazy. Like if I was someone else trying to get a collab with me, I'd be happy. I'd be like, yeah, he's got a big YouTube, that's cool. Like so I just I listen to all my samples and stuff, and but I'm very picky. Like if I haven't got a particular sound, like I remember the other day I was looking through samples, like no, I want to make a beat with bagpipes, and I was like, I'm not hearing it. And then I was on Clubhouse.
Scottish drill.
Scottish drill, It's a beat's called like Try with my channel or something. I was trying to find these bagpipe samples. I even downloaded like 7 Contact like banks. And I was like, nothing sounded right.
Yeah.
I was on Clubhouse, and our producer, shout out Mondo, he sent me this sample, and it was crazy, like this thing. So I did some I put some gross beat, I put some effects in it. And like that's why I made the beat to it. But I feel like I've got this ear, our producers as well. Once you've got an ear for something you want to make, everything else seems bad until you want to get that sound. Like someone can send you a really good guitar loop, be like, "No, I made a guitar beat yesterday." Or you ignore that and you're looking for a piano. Like, I feel like I do that quite a lot.
Yeah, 100%. It just depends what mood you're in. like on that day. So like you said, if you're going through all the loops that people have sent you, you might be, like you just said, you might feel like making a piano type beat, but nothing's like sounding quite right, and people might just feel like hurt by that, like you haven't used their loops, but it could just be the fact that you weren't in that mood on that particular day. So it's the same with sending beats out to artists. It's like same shit. A lot of people might ignore you. You've got to catch them at the right time. It's the same thing. Like you might send beats to artists, right? And they might not be in a drill mood that day, and you've just sent drill beats to them, so they don't fuck with them. It's nothing like personal. It's just everyone's got different taste. Everyone's got different emotions that day. Everyone's on a different like wavelength that day. So it's one of them things you can't like take it to heart. It's just shit happens, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real.
So, bro, I think we've been through pretty much everything, man. With the main thing that I wanted to share with people is the YouTube gems, because I got a lot of people asking me, and with me, it's like it's a bit different because I've managed to grow my tutorial channel successfully, but my beat channel isn't growing at like nowhere near compared to how much the tutorial channel is growing. So it was good to get someone on that has experience in growing a beat channel as well, because I've had a lot of like tutorial people on the podcast, other producers as well. But yeah, I think that over this past year, you've killed it with YouTube. So I think that people are going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's one of them things that everyone's always asking about. So you've let out all the gems. He's not holding anything. He's not getting any like secrets.
I'm not. You know like everything is in plain sight. Like you can look at my channel and literally everything's there. You just got to get your head around it for real. Like you just got to, it's a change in mindset for YouTube for real.
Definitely.
That's all it is. All the information is there for you. Like it's not a secret. There's no secret for YouTube. Believe me.
Yeah.
It's just everything's there for you to see. You've just got to sort of look at it and just absorb that information and then do something about it.
Definitely. So just to kind of sum everything up, let's say I'm a new producer. Let's say my beats are actually good, because that's the thing as well. Like you're not going to get views if the beats
your
aren't
craft's
good.
got to be good.
Yeah. So let's say I'm a relatively new producer, but my beats are on point. Like they're ready to post on YouTube. What do I do? What's the first few steps I do?
So I'd say get a good like logo. So get you that all the way. Get your my channel. Well, I don't even have a banner. I've literally just got a black screen, and I've just kept it that way because I saw some producer do that for a trap channel. I was like, I can't be bothered to make some fancy banner. I just use plain black screen, whatever. It does its job. I'd say research, find your lane, find a good niche to do that fits with your production style, because there's no point changing massively your production style. If you don't want to make New York drill, don't make New York drill, make UK drill. You got to find lanes that will work for you.
Definitely.
Do that. Then get all your friends, get your mum, get your granddad to subscribe to your channel. Like, just get everyone there. Like, and then I feel like the first like 100 subs is the hardest, and then the first like 500 subs, that's the hardest point. Like, that's a slog. You could be uploading like some crazy good beats, but that's just how it is. That's the same for everyone. Like, I feel like getting to grow massively from 0 subscribers up to like big fast, that's challenging. But to gain from like 300 to quite big, that's definitely doable. So getting those first few, even if you get anyone to subscribe, that's getting that base done, building a theme, building like a brand for yourself, and that's about it for YouTube. You just gotta stay consistent with it.
Definitely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, sharing all them gems with people. Just let everyone know where they can find you, and let everyone know if there's anything that you're working on right now, if there's some projects you want to announce, or if there's a new kit coming, just anything at all.
Yeah, so just Jester Beats on YouTube, and then Jester Beats with 2 S's on Insta, and follow me on Twitter as well, trying to get that big, just Beats Jester. They couldn't give me the normal username. And nothing really to announce major, just stay tuned to my YouTube channel. New placements dropping this month, next month, all the time. So Jay, I appreciate you having me on, man. Yeah,
anytime, man. Anytime.